Next time I will ask you, how's your pumpkin?
Yeah. My pumpkin is full of goo. I am not a rishi. When he says, "This is God's will, Satyavati, and your son shall be the greatest poet the world has ever seen." And I kept on thinking about the word your, and I came up with this explanation that he didn't want to take kind of any, he didn't want to mention that he has the right over the child which is coming now. So he kind of relinquished all his rights over that child and let it be the child of Satyavati or Matsyagandhi. So I felt that it was a very rishi like behavior there, where you relinquish all your rights in this physical world or something. Uh, and I also felt, I think he established that you, Satyavati, you are a very central character of this whole plot. You are very important. So that's what I felt when I read that line. What was your interpretation?
Um, yes, I share the same interpretation as you. And I forgive me for this, but I always have the perception that the connection of offspring initially it's always bigger with the mother than the father.
Yeah.
I know that over here it didn't happen, but normally the baby it's 9 months within the body of the mother. So, and the mother after will feed the baby. So I think naturally there's a higher, bigger initially, in the moment of birth with the baby. And he's a rishi. He's a immortal rishi. So he's living in between Lucas. And he will not be attached to anything.
Yeah.
And I find now that you are mentioning this, I by the end of the chapter, I was kind of troubled because so a normal 16-year-old girl or woman, she's taking someone across the river, and all of this happened that it's, out of the world. And she meets Parash, and Parash walks away over the water.
Parashar.
Parashar,
Yeah.
thank you. And she delivers a full grown man and he walks away. And he is the one saying, we need to go our separate lives here. And she's there alone and she will go back home and back to her normal life. And this can be a good amount of information. I think nowadays we can always can even look at it as traumatic, and she can't say anything to anyone. She can't talk with anyone about it, and life goes on.
Okay, I'm being a devil's advocate here.
Okay, I'm used to it.
Probably she relived this moment in her head many times because she liked it. And she probably also likes the fact that she has a very kind of a mystic, powerful son, greatest poet of all time, one of the great rishis of all time, which she can summon whenever she needs him. And she may also be thinking, or maybe like a good level of anxiety for the future, thinking because Parashar made great predictions for her. She may be thinking, oh, what lies in my future? Who is the king who will come to me? What is going to happen? Like, that's what, that can be another
But
tangent of the story.
absolutely, and I love that interpretation. But again, she there everything is change, okay?
Yeah.
But that was a moment of very quick and fast changes, and suddenly there's many other possibilities, and she's anxious about it. So she doesn't come back the same way she was, in such a difference that she can recognize that difference, and she is anxious. And at least the father and people around her have noticed that her smell changed,
Oh, yeah.
that she's radiant, that there's something different about her. And they might ask questions. What happened? Oh, I
Parashar
went to
just
sleep like this.
Parashar just blessed me. For what? For helping him cross the river.
Oh, yeah, it can be. Why not? He was in hurry.
Yeah. And I think we should also talk a little bit the about our character Vyas here, on which this chapter is based on his appearance. Because I wrote some points down.
Go ahead.
Like, he was as handsome as Kamdev. Kamdev is probably, like, I don't know.
It's Cupido.
Yeah, Cupid.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Eros
Yeah.
in
In Greek history.
yeah.
Greek mythology.
Oops.
You decide if it's history or mythology. And he was
For sure it's story.
yeah. And he was a full grown rishi, and he had a kamandal in his one hand and a smooth staff. So kamandal is just a pot which rishi may use to drink water or to do purification rituals. And I read something interesting about kamandals, that they are either made of clay or coconut shell or a gourd shell, like, say, from a pumpkin. You bring out everything out of the pumpkin and the shell is left, and they use that as kamandal. And for that, they said that it also kind of represents ego dissolution, where you bring out everything negative out of you, ego out of you, arrogance out of you, and whatever is left is a rishi. So it's a symbolic ritual as well, I feel, which I found very interesting when I read about kamandal. And that is the description of Vyasa, our hero, kind of a hero in this chapter, who comes in the very end and just comes and leaves.
Next time I will ask you, how's your pumpkin?
Yeah. My pumpkin is full of goo. I am not a rishi. I have a lot of ego and arrogance with me.